welcome to the USR Network, my wonderful teammates and our friends and mentors from PolyU. My name is Kyle Andaya. I'm one of the co-founders of IKA-WING. We are a personalized well-being provider that tackles social isolation in an affordable and sensible way. Our team is passionate about overcoming two key challenges when it comes to existing solutions for social isolation. First, there is a perceived stigma behind getting help. Some people do not want to be a burden to others, while other Filipinos feel like they do not need the help, even though they want the help. There is a certain fear that comes with seeing a professional in their office, and the idea of a trip to a therapist gives more feelings of isolation than feelings of healing. Second, there are high cost barriers to getting help. The average affordable therapy session costs 2 days of minimum wages in the Philippines. Let me repeat that. Even if you find the cheapest places to get help, an hour of a therapist's time will cost 18 hours of work, as the average workday for a Filipino is 9 hours. For many people, paying for a one-on-one session is too impractical. So, what if we change the rules? What if we decided to challenge these stigmas and try to create a system that makes sense for the people here, so that the first time they hear the idea, they understand it and they're ready to participate? Well, we are IKA-WING, an online service program focused on offering exciting social activities and relevant workshops to unite the isolated here in the Philippines. Let's admit, the pandemic has been rough on a lot of people, and there doesn't seem like there's going to be a big end in sight. So when it comes to finding ways to tackle social isolation from behind a screen, we need to find effective ways to unite people without making them feel scared. So you might be wondering, how exactly do we do it? Here's our process and a little bit of our business model. It also appears that the format got moved a bit, but let's keep going. So first off, we contact global nonprofits to see if they can send us speakers or people that can teach them about their nonprofit, and people that can hold little activities that will be engaging and wonderful. This is also effective for the people here locally, because as Filipinos, one of our favorite things in the entire world is to meet people from other countries. It's just ingrained in us. And then we'll also contact local nonprofits if they can send people over to work as our facilitators. These are people that know how to communicate with their local communities, so they can also help us get participants, but also it's people that can speak the local language, not just the Filipino language, but to speak as a Filipino. This will help us connect to the people in a real way so that they feel like they aren't just talking to therapists. Next up, we'll offer Wi-Fi connection. For the people that will be paying to use our program, we'll also be using part of what they paid us as a consumable for Wi-Fi. This is incredibly important for Filipinos because a vast majority of our nation pays for Wi-Fi on a prepaid basis, meaning that we have to make sure that they get this general idea that we're providing the Wi-Fi that will really help get their foot in the door to try out the program. And then we're going to prepare and hold our saya sessions. Saya is fun in Filipino, and we feel like this fun little alliteration will be able to touch the hearts of the people that we'll be working with, and they'll feel enamored and connected and like they're working together towards really battling that isolation, meeting other people, and just feeling like they're part of a big community. So, why does it work? You might be wondering. Well, aside from everything that I've just said, it's 80% lower costs than what you would normally be paying for a one-on-one therapy session. So a one-on-one therapy session, for context, around here costs about 24 USD. But since you're only going to be paying about 20% of that, we'll really only be asking about 5 USD a person. And and this is really affordable for lots of people that we'll be working with. And the business model works because we have large classrooms. So people aren't just paying for a one-on-one session, they're paying for a 1-on-20 session. And in fact, that 1-on-20 session is the reason why it works. We're able to build a safe, silly, and social environment, those 3 key S's that really bring people in and make them feel like they're part of the activity and learning as they go. All right. And we also decided to construct a little bit of a prototype here. And this is what we were able to show the testers and survey people that we conducted. We had 5 testers go through all of our prototype in depth. We really had them sit down and did a little bit of an interview. And for the 54 survey people, they were also able to view these images in full. So they were able to look at our prototype here, which is built on top of Facebook, which is the #1 most common social media application here in the Philippines, and also free to access here in the Philippines. And we also have an example of a little bit of an event here. So a little bit of a game show, Battle of the Brains, to really engage people and show a little bit more of the fun side of what we're trying to do here in IKA-WING. And here's our survey response. 40 out of the 54 that we surveyed were not only willing to pay, but they were also willing to participate. This is huge. We were able to talk to people from all different socioeconomic backgrounds, but mainly from the lower middle class background, so that they'd be able to give us more realistic feedback on our target demographic. And as for our tester response, well, you can see what they're saying there. These wonderful people were saying that they're all down for it. 5 out of 5 testers really loved it. And their main complaint is, hey, let's try to add a little bit more about speakers in your advertisement so that they can know who exactly is conducting these things. If they come from Germany, if they come from Sweden, let's learn more about them. So this is our timeline. Testing will begin in August, and that's really when we'll be refining and adjusting to everything that the people have been saying. So adding in that speaker information and really making it clear. And in 2023, we'll be having our launch that will be able to reach the people. Finally, this is our team, a lovely team of 5 usually, but this time we're cut down to 4 for tournament's sake. And so the people that are here today is me, Kyle and Daya. We have Michelle Co, Ray Delgado, and Narelle Ibarra, who were able to join us for this competition. And our team, we feel, is the right team to do it, not just because we're passionate about making this change as Filipinos ourselves, but because our college thesis is about therapists and their patients. So we've spent the past year working with people from the therapy and the psychology sector. We've also had personal involvements with neurodivergent people in the past. So it really makes our passion to find a solution even stronger. So with that, here's all I really have to say. Thank you for listening to the IKA-WING pitch, which once again is Filipino for connect. And we hope that we'll be able to bring this connection, not just here in the Philippines, but hopefully around the world. And we're glad that we were able to connect with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, IKA-WING. Thank you, Kyle. Exciting pitch. Love the energy. And we'll open the floor to the judge to ask any questions, and as well from the facilitators. Please, if you have any questions, please raise your hands. Please go ahead, Ms. McCain.
Thank you so much, and thank you for such a passionate presentation. I really enjoyed how your platform seems both locally and globally responsive. That was awesome to see. I just wanted to ask about your financial plan. You mentioned that this will be 80% less expensive for people than a traditional therapist. Do you anticipate that getting this platform started will be quite costly? Do you have any idea of what kind of initial investment you would need to start this up?
Okay. So the beautiful benefit of working with Facebook as our main application to reach customers is that, well, it's, we don't need to pay for web hosting. We don't need to pay for lots of those expensive plugins that really drive up the overhead costs for a business. What we really need are permanent staff that would really be there to solidify what we're trying to do. Because the business would shift considerably if the staff shifts considerably. So we really have to pay for those solid salaries, and most likely these will be part-time therapists, like therapists pursuing this in the part-time, because we also want to make sure that we have real professionals working here with us here in IKA-WING. So I know you've also had concerns about how all of the costs are really going to factor in. So like I said, it's about $5 a person, and with a classroom of about 20, that's about $100 per class. There will be several classes running simultaneously, and beyond And people can also enroll in several classes at the same time. So that allows for the same person to maybe pay $10, $15, and be able to really participate. And also this, once again, it really makes it a very approachable system. So there's no hard cap at 20 people. It can be 25, it could be 30, maybe in a Zoom room, it could be 35, 40. So that really helps us hold down those staff costs and hold down any promotional costs that we might be running in any game shows per se, if we ever try to do fun activities like those that are really big hit with the Filipinos here. Thank you for that question, by the way.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, so Ms. Kane, if you do you have any other question you would like to add?
I think all of my questions have been answered. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So any questions from the facilitators? I'd like to provide any feedback or ask Kyle. Okay, if not, maybe I'll ask one last question to Kyle, and then we can move forward to the next team. So I think what I understand that, Kyle, from your presentation, a lot of the work involved with therapists, as well as I see a lot of the images are from a young team. So will the audience be targeting like mainly the young demographic on a more like a positive motivation type of therapeutical session that I'm understanding, or is it more that it's more like a curriculum programmatic base? Can I get a little bit more understanding around the program itself?
Of course, that's a wonderful question. So I noticed there were two nuances in your question. First is, can I get to know a bit more about the age of the people you'll be working with? And second, can I have a better idea of the structure? So first, let's start with the age of the people that we'll be working with. So in the Philippines, what really is a hit with people from the ages of 20 to even around 40 are these very young, fast-paced, high energy type of classes that feel a lot more like games than real classes. So that's kind of what we're trying to target. I know it sounds a bit strange in a more Western context that, oh, how can you do something young and fun, but then it appeals to 30-year-olds? But it really is a thing here in the Philippines. We're very youthful, energetic, vibrant people. So that's why we're really trying to make it that young and fun energy that appeals to 2 generations worth of people. And that also, of course, increases our market size as well when you think about it financially. And then finally, if you're asking me about the program, so once again, if you were able to listen to me earlier, I was able to mention how there are different classes, right? So there will definitely be one-time classes. So like one-time workshops where maybe we'll get someone from WHO to deliver a little bit of a talk about health and how to keep yourself healthy, especially in this time of the pandemic, and what exactly they do at WHO. And that's more of like a one-time thing since we'll only have the speaker in for a day. But for maybe our more local nonprofits, like for example, Buklod Tao, which is urban farming nonprofit that I've worked with before. What we could do is we could have people from Buklod Tao come in and do like a 6-person teaching, 6-person teaching program, 6-class teaching program, and 6 different sessions where they teach all about how to plant inside your house, how to plant just outside your house, more things about urban farming, how to deal with fertilizer. It could all be flexible to what the people exactly need. So that's what we're really trying to do here. We have an eye on what all our different stakeholders can give and can receive. So that's how we're trying to structure it to fit all the different needs that are coming through. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Kyle. Okay.